one more Rewrite podcast recording going on here. Okay, we're going to talk about our Oscar picks for 2015. Before we get to that, I had just a few mini topics we could talk about, which was first, I wanted to ask what your thoughts were on the Oscar host this year. They have Neil Patrick Harris hosting. Ellen was their first choice, apparently, when I was looking into this. And it's because viewership was up 8%, as opposed to the year before when Seth MacFarlane was hosting, which to me I don't think that's too great of an improvement, but at the same time I don't think Seth MacFarlane was the brightest of choices, period.
I find most of his stuff funny, and I thought that he was enjoyable, although I think he probably stepped out of the decorum of the Oscars. I think kind of the Oscars has this whole aura about it, where you kind of have to be a little more reserved. This isn't the Golden Globes. Golden Globes, he could have gotten away with all that stuff and everybody would have gone, ha 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 ha, that's very funny. But the Oscars kind of take themselves a little too seriously.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. I'm just sitting here thinking that, how'd I say it? I wrote down a couple of my thoughts, that I didn't think Neil Patrick Harris was a hard choice when going from uncomfortably unfunny at times to vanilla, because I thought, Ellen is comfortably vanilla, there she is, she's a daytime talk show host, no meanness there, it's just that's not, but it's just, it's I feel like, sorry Neil, it's a safe bet. Yeah, and I don't feel like, and I feel like that Seth MacFarlane, I didn't watch that, I watch only intermittently lately, and part of it is because of the Oscar choice, or the host choices. I mean, I didn't watch it when Jon Stewart was hosting, it's because of my own political leanings, I have to admit, but at the same time, it's like you sit there and I think that Neil Patrick will do fine because he's, I don't know, I think he seems like he's the kind of person who could roll with the punch and come up with something funny on the fly, say there's a mishap or somebody's an idiot and does something weird. He seems like he'd be great at improvising. Ellen, I watched I had it on mute because of my kid, but at the same time, even if I didn't have her as an excuse, I'm one of these people who can't watch certain live productions because I feel empathetic cringing. It's like, oh God, just please end this segment now. It stopped being funny as soon as it started. No, you expect everybody with dignity to stand up and end something, and it's just horrible. Sorry.
The cringe-worthy performance of Anne Hathaway and James Franco, was
I tried watching
painful.
that for a few minutes, and I'm just painful. I'll find out tomorrow. I don't need to watch this. I don't need to suffer through this. There's millions upon millions of people on the planet watching this, and I could be flossing right now. That sounds horrible, but I'm sorry. So was the choice of
well, sure. And granted, there have been some choices through the years. Jon Stewart is a funny guy, and I thought that he did an all right job with it. I think that definitely he needed better writers. I think that's part of the problem that they've had over the years, and for many years, is that they just don't have anybody that can put stuff together and make it funny. And I think that probably with Neil Patrick Harris there, he's a great actor, song and dance man, he can do everything. Yeah. So probably they'll open with the song. Which,
if they don't open with the song with Neil Patrick Harris, then you've just wasted an opportunity. If they open up with some, sorry again, Ellen, lame skit where you're ordering a pizza for people in the front row, or I don't remember how they opened up Ellen's. Sorry, again, vanilla. It's that was pleasant at the time, I think. I don't remember it too well.
Yeah.
It wasn't as offensive as it could have been, or as cringy as it could have been. But I think what the Oscars has suffered from it, I like Billy Crystal's performances just because, again, they're kind of, at least I don't feel like I have to worry about turning away because it's making me cringe or making me say, you know what, if I really, really want to get into politics right now, I'll go look some up online. I came to watch about movie stars, not...
Yeah. Well, and granted, but you can make good, funny political jokes. I think that's always an option.
Dogs in the background, sorry. Things are getting a little tense here when we talk about politics, sorry.
But yeah, I think that, even at the Grammys, you can do a little bit of political humor. I think that if it's framed right and you do it well, then there's always an option for that. but I think that it has to be kind of respectful to the Oscars. And I think that, well, again, the Oscars take themselves very seriously about everything, but I think that you can throw in a little aside of like, how much is that guy an idiot? And you go, oh, well, yeah, that's kind of funny because I know that, he's an idiot, or he cheated on his wife, or he tweeted out pictures that weren't appropriate. There's always a little humor in everything that's going on.
Yeah, and if somebody doesn't come out and make a joke at I almost said John Lennon's expense. Wow. Sorry, John Travolta's expense about the whole idle deedle dum or whatever the heck he said last year instead of the lady's correct name, then there's again a missed opportunity. But getting too sidetracked with the politics stuff, I feel like it's like you can't have. I think there's this weird expectation, because you have the dignity of the Oscars. It sounds weird to say, but
it does because it's such a silly thing. But you have to approach it in that way, otherwise it doesn't maintain that dignity.
Yeah, which is why I think that like Steve Martin and choices like those are smart, funny, witty choices that won't give you vanilla, but